Okay, so this video should help those of you who need to learn about PTE fast. Maybe it's the night before your exam, or maybe you're just curious and want to get an idea of what PTE is all about. What we're going to do in this video is take a look at all 20 PTE academic question types so that when you see them on test day, you know exactly what to do. So in PTE Speaking, which is the first section of the test, you'll have 5 different tasks. So you'll have these 5 tasks: read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, and answer short question. Now, scoring is what it's all about, and you're scored on 3 fundamental criteria, okay? They are content, pronunciation, and oral fluency. So in brief, content means that you're speaking on topic, right? Pronunciation is the way that you're making the sounds, whether it's clear. And oral fluency refers to the pace and the linking and the sentence stress, etc. It's actually quite complicated. If you want to learn more, you can go to E2 Test Prep by clicking the link in the description below, joining our live classes, or watching our methods lessons. Okay, let's get started and look at the first speaking task called read aloud. Read aloud. So you're going to get 6 or 7 of these items on test day, and this particular task actually contributes points to both speaking and reading. This is what it looks like. So you can see a paragraph of text, and you'll have about 30 seconds to rehearse read this paragraph of text before the recording device starts. Then you'll have about 30 seconds to read this paragraph as clearly as you possibly can. As I mentioned, you'll be scored on content, that is, you say all the words in the paragraph, pronunciation, your speech is clear, and oral fluency, it has good rhythm, pacing, pausing, and connected speech, etc. Okay, so that's a pretty brief overview of read aloud. It's a pretty good task to start the entire test. It's pretty straightforward. Mind you, if you want to maximize your scores, you should click the link in the description below, go across to E2 Test Prep, make sure you watch the methods lesson, do some practice, and get some feedback from one of our expert teachers. Repeat sentence. So the second task in speaking is called repeat sentence. You're going to get 10 to 12 of these items, and it contributes points to both your listening and your speaking scores. Okay, so this is what it looks like on test day. And what's going to happen is you're going to hear a sentence, then you need to repeat back what was said in the sentence exactly as it was said in the sentence. The sentence itself will go for between 3 to 9 seconds. It'll be about 6 or 12 words in total. You're going to have to listen carefully because it'll use academic vocabulary, and you might have to infer the meaning of some unfamiliar words. And you're also going to have to understand variations in tone, speed, and accent. Okay, so when you're listening to that sentence, you're going to hear a variety of different accents. So you need to listen very carefully. Then when you actually repeat the sentence, again, you're scored on content. You repeat the exact same words. Pronunciation, it's clear, and oral fluency, it comes out naturally. Describe image. So you've read a paragraph aloud and you've repeated some sentence. This is the first task where you need to sort of think on your feet or speak spontaneously, and it's called describe image. You're going to get 3 to 4 of these on test day, and it's going to test you on your speaking skills. Okay, so you're going to see something similar to this on test day. You're going to see a graph or an image. Now, you'll have 25 seconds to prepare by analyzing the image carefully. You'll then have 40 seconds to introduce the image, describe the image, and also give a conclusion. Now, you won't just see line graphs. You might see pie charts, bar graphs, or a combination. You might see tables, process diagrams, flowcharts, maps, timetables, floor plans, a photograph, or a Venn diagram. This task is pretty tricky. You want to get it right. And again, you're scored on content. That is, you're speaking on topic. You're describing the particular image. Pronunciation, you're doing it all very clearly, and you're also doing it fluently. Now, I really do recommend you watch the methods lesson on E2 Test Prep. It's not here on YouTube. You should also do heaps of practice, join our live classes, and get some feedback. Retell Lecture. So on test day, you'll get 1 or 2 of these tasks, and it contributes points to both your listening and your speaking. Okay, so what's going to happen is this. You'll have a few seconds to analyze the image. Then you're going to hear a lecture or interview that'll go for about 60 to 90 seconds. During this time, you need to take notes. This is the first part of the test where you use the erasable noteboard booklet to actually take notes. You basically can't do this particular task without a good set of notes. So you'll be listening carefully and writing down notes as you listen. So while you're listening and taking notes, you want to try to identify the topic, the theme, the main ideas, any supporting points or examples. Maybe you'll identify the speaker's purpose, style, tone, or attitude. You'll need to understand academic vocabulary, maybe infer the meaning of some unfamiliar words. You'll need to classify and categorize some information and understand variations in tone, speed, and accent. So after you've listened and taken notes, you'll then have 10 seconds to prepare and then 40 seconds to speak. So while speaking, you need to speak for a purpose, to repeat, to inform, to explain. You'll need to support your opinion with details, examples, and explanations. You'll need to organize your ideas in a logical way and develop complex ideas. Use words and phrases appropriate to the context. Use correct grammar. Speak at a natural rate. Produce fluent speech. Use correct intonation. Use correct pronunciation. Use correct word and sentence stress. And speak under timed conditions. So you scored on content, pronunciation, and oral fluency. If you want to learn a really good structure for this, a structure that works for any lecture, then click the link in the description below, go across to E2 Test Prep and watch the methods lesson. It's really powerful. It's not here on YouTube. Answer short question. So this is the final task of the speaking section. You're going to hear 5 or 6 short questions, and the points will contribute to your vocabulary score. So this is what it looks like on test day. And quite simply, you're going to listen, you're going to hear a question, and then you're going to answer the question in 1 or 2 words. The 1 or 2 words might be a noun, an adjective, a verb, or maybe something else. For example, the question you might hear might say something like, what do you call the instrument used to show the direction of north, south, east, and west? So the answer there would have been a compass or compass. Hopefully you got that right. If you feel like you need more preparation, then click the subscribe button and also click the link in the description below that will take you across to E2 Test Prep. PTE Writing. There are 2 different tasks in PTE Writing. The first task is called Summarize Written Text, and you'll have 10 minutes to complete this one. The second task is called Write Essay, and you'll have 20 minutes to complete the essay. Let's look at the first task. Summarize Written Text. On test day, you'll get 1 or 2 of these particular items, and it has integrated scoring. So the points are contributing to your writing score, but also to your reading score as well. This is what summarized written text looks like on test day. You can see a large chunk of text, which you need to read very carefully. Then what you need to do is summarize all of that text into a single sentence summary, 1 sentence. You will have 10 minutes to do the reading and to write the sentence and to make sure that your sentence is accurate. In summarized written text, you are scored on the content, and you get a top score if you provide a good summary of the text with all relevant aspects mentioned. If you write a single complete sentence between 5 and 75 words, you will get a top score for form. You'll get a top score for grammar if you have no grammatical errors. In other words, you have correct grammatical structure. And you'll get a top score for vocabulary if you have appropriate word choice. Getting a high score in summarized written text is not as easy as it looks because you have to turn up to 300 words into a single sentence. What type of sentence do you need to write? You need to go onto E2 Test Prep and watch the methods lesson to learn how to do the reading and how to do the writing. All of the packages we have on E2 Test Prep are created just for you, so check them out. Write essay. So on test day, you're going to get 1 or 2 essays to write. Hopefully you only get 1, but you might get 2. Now, the scoring only contributes to your writing score. So this is what the task looks like on test day. You'll have 20 minutes to write between 200 and 300 words. You'll be writing an argumentative or persuasive essay. Now, the question prompts will differ slightly from each other. You might have to respond to a question like this. You might have to take one of 2 sides in an argument like this. You might have to agree or disagree with a particular point of view like this one here. Or you might have to write about the advantages or disadvantages of a particular opinion. It doesn't matter what type of question you get on test day, you'll always be writing an argumentative or persuasive essay. Let's quickly talk about how you're scored because this is important. You are scored in 7 different ways. You're scored on the content, that is, you're writing on topic. You're also scored on your development, structure, and coherence. You're scored on length, that is, you write between 200 and 300 words, not below, not over. You're scored on your general linguistic range. This is how well you can structure your sentences and use different phrases and collocations. You're also scored on your grammar usage and mechanics, how accurate and varied your grammar is. You're also scored on your vocabulary range, how well you can use word choice. And finally, you're scored on your spelling. Okay, so you really want to make sure that you get the essay right on test day because it contributes a lot of points to your writing score. Now, how do you structure your essay? How do you structure your introduction, your body paragraphs, your conclusion? What is the content that you include, etc.? All of this information is in the methods lesson on E2 Test Prep. And what else is important is getting writing feedback, having an expert check your essay to make sure that you are covering the criteria. All of this is on E2 Test Prep. Click the link in the description below. PTE Reading. In PTE Reading, there are 5 different tasks. The different tasks include reading and writing fill in the blanks, multiple choice choose multiple answers, reorder paragraph, fill in the blanks, and multiple choice choose single answer. You'll have 13 to 18 questions in total and between 29 and 30 minutes to complete these questions. Let me give you a quick overview of reading and writing fill in the blanks, the first task of the reading section. Reading and writing fill in the blanks. On test day, you'll get 5 or 6 of these question types, and your scores will contribute to both reading and writing. This is what it looks like on test day. You'll see a text of up to 300 words, which is quite long, and you may see up to 6 blanks. Each blank, when you click on it, will show you 4 different answer options. So it's actually testing you on 2 different things. Let's look at the first way it tests you. The first and most common way it tests you is on word choice. So when you click on the blank, you'll see 4 different words that are synonymous, that have similar meanings, but only one of those words will complete the sentence perfectly. The other 3 answer options will be slightly incorrect. They'll be incorrect word choice. So that's the first thing that it tests you on. The second thing it tests you on is grammar. So this question here, for example, shows different verb tenses or active and passive. And only one of these options will be grammatically correct. The other 3 options will be incorrect grammatically. So we recommend that you spend about 2 to 2.5 minutes on each of these reading and writing fill in the blanks questions. Bear in mind that you need to manage your own time in the reading section of PTE. The tasks are not individually timed. Cool, now that you know about this task, you should now go across to E2 Test Prep. You can click the link in the description below, watch the methods lesson and do lots of practice, including in the live classes. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. So on test 8, you'll get 1 or 2 of these questions. I personally find this one pretty tricky. It just contributes points to your reading score. So this is what it looks like on test day. You can see the text is quite long. It can be up to 300 words. You'll have between 5 and 7 answer options. And notice the little squares next to the answer options indicating that you can select more than one option. 2 or 3 of the answer options will be correct. Bear in mind that there is negative marking with this particular question type. So there are different question prompts that will ask you to read 4 different things in that text. Let's take a look at them. So you might have to read for gist or the main idea. The question prompt might say, what are the main ideas of the text? Or you might have to read for details. The question prompt might say something like, according to the text, which of the following contributed to blah, blah, blah? Or you might have to read for the writer's purpose. For example, the question prompt might say, why does the writer say blah, blah, blah? You may have to read for inferences. What conclusions about blah can be drawn from the arguments presented in the text? Or you might have to read for style. In line 3, the writer uses the phrase out and about or something like that. What do you think are the reasons for this? So we recommend you spend about 2 to 3 minutes on each of these multiple choice choose multiple answers because they're pretty tricky. You do have to eliminate incorrect answer options. You should be aiming to select more than one. You can select one, that's completely fine. If you want to learn more about this particular task, go across to E2 Test Prep, watch the methods lesson because it tells you everything you need to do, and there's lots of practice questions as well. Reorder paragraph. So on test day, you'll get 2 or 3 reorder paragraphs. I personally like these. I think they're fun. The points contribute just to your reading score. So this is what it looks like on test day. You can see that there'll be 4 or 5 sentences that you need to reorder. You need to put them into the correct order. The total number of words for each of the sentences will be about 150, so it's pretty small. So when you're reordering that paragraph, it's all about understanding the meaning and making sure the meaning flows from beginning to end. You can, of course, pay attention to the grammar and to the discourse markers, etc. But again, it's all about meaning. These are pretty quick. We recommend you spend about 1 or 2 minutes on each of these. Fill in the blanks. This particular task is pretty straightforward. You're going to get about 4 or 5 on test day, and the points will contribute to your reading score alone. So this is what it looks like on test day. You'll see between 3 and 5 blanks. You'll see between 6 and 8 answer options. You need to drag the correct answer option into the right gap. The text itself will be up to 80 words max, which is quite short. So this particular task is testing your ability to use collocations or create natural sounding phrases. So the words come together to form that natural sounding phrase. Now you should spend about 1 or 2 minutes on each of these questions. Make sure you watch the methods lesson that's over on E2 Test Prep because we deep dive into how to maximize your scores on all of the questions, but especially this one. And also on E2 Test Prep, you can join the live classes, which are fun and motivational. Multiple choice, choose single answer. So this particular task is similar to multiple choice, choose multiple answers, but with this one, you're just choosing one answer option. You'll get 1 or 2 on test day, and it will contribute points to your reading score. So this is what it looks like on test day. This time, the text itself will be much shorter, 110 words max. You'll see between 3 and 5 answer options, only one of which will be correct. And note that there are circles, not squares, next to the answer options. So in multiple choice choose single answer, you should be reading for something, okay? And the question prompt itself is going to get you to read for something. Let's have a look at the different things you have to read for. So you might have to read for the topic, theme, or main idea. You might have to read for the relationships between sentences and paragraphs. You might have to read for a writer's purpose, style, tone, or attitude. You might have to read for supporting points or examples, overall organization and connections between pieces of information, inferential meanings, inferences, or find relationships. You might have to read for specific details, facts, opinions, definitions, or sequences of events. Or you might have to read for the meaning of unfamiliar words. So the question prompt is critical with this particular question type because it tells you what to read for, okay? Keep that in mind. Now you should spend about 90 seconds max on each of these questions. PTE Listening. There are 8 different tasks in PTE Listening. The tasks include summarize spoken text, multiple choice multiple answers, fill in the blanks, highlight correct summary, multiple choice single answer, select missing word, highlight incorrect words, and write from dictation. You'll get between 12 and 20 questions on test day, and you'll have between 30 and 43 minutes to complete this section of the test. Let's have a look at the first task of the listening section. Summarize spoken text. You'll get 1 or 2 of these tasks on test day. You'll have 10 minutes for each of them. The scores contribute to your listening and to your writing scores. So this is what summarized spoken text looks like on test day. You're going to hear part of a lecture or interview during which you'll need to take notes. After the lecture or interview has finished, you will then write a summary of what you heard. The summary will be between 50 and 70 words. And as I mentioned, you'll have 10 minutes to complete this task. Okay, now you need to go ahead and watch the methods lesson on E2 test prep. It includes a structure that's really important that you can use on any of your summarized spoken texts. You also need to concentrate on note-taking, which is an essential aspect of this task. After that, you want to submit some of these for writing feedback from our expert teachers. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Okay, so you'll get 1 or 2 of these items on test day and the scores contribute just to your listening score. This is what this particular task looks like. You can see a question prompt and you can see answer options. Notice how the answer options have little squares next to them. This indicates that you can select more than one response. In the listening section of PTE, the first task, summarize spoken text, is timed separately. You get 10 minutes for each of those. As soon as you get up to multiple choice, choose multiple answers, you need to begin to manage your own time. The tasks are not individually timed. Cool. Next thing you need to do is watch the methods lesson on E2 test prep. It's an important video that will take you through all the different parts of this part of the test. Then you might want to think about joining our live classes with our expert teachers. Fill in the blanks. On test day, you'll get 2 or maybe 3 of these particular tasks. The points contribute to your listening and to your writing score. This is what fill in the blanks looks like. It's pretty straightforward. You can imagine what you have to do. You're going to hear an audio. You're going to be listening for single words to fill those gaps. There are 2 different ways you can complete this task. The first way is that you'll listen and write down the missing words on your erasable noteboard booklet, then input them into the gaps, making sure the grammar and spelling is correct. The other alternative is you can type directly into the gaps and click the tab key or move the mouse between the gaps. It's up to you. Personally, I wrote mine on the booklet first. Now, just make sure that you do check the grammar and spelling before clicking next. All right, now you might want to think about purchasing a package on E2 Test Prep, like the bronze, silver, or gold package that come with live classes, lots of practice questions, writing feedback, and much, much more. You can click the link in the description below. Highlight correct summary. On test day, you'll get 1 or maybe 2 of these, and the points contribute to your listening and to your reading score. This is what this task looks like on test day. You might get a video like this one, or it might just be an audio file. You'll then have 3 or 4 answer options, and the answer options are really quite long. One of the things that you cannot do is read and listen at the same time. So during this task, you will need to take notes. After you've listened and taken notes, you'll select the answer option that best relates to the video or the audio. So the answer options that are incorrect will leave out important information, or they'll have information in there that wasn't mentioned in the video or the audio. Only one of the answer options will match what was said very well. Multiple choice, choose single answer. On test day, you'll get 1 or 2 of these questions, and it contributes points just to your listening score. This is what multiple choice choose single answer looks like. You can see the question prompt, and you can see the answer options, of which you can only select one. It's really important that you read that question prompt carefully, because it's going to ask you to listen for something, maybe a purpose or a detail or the gist of what was said. It kind of depends. It's really important that you watch the methods lesson on E2 Test Prep. It's going to take you through all the different parts of this question. And of course, you can apply it in the live classes on E2 Test Prep. Select missing word. You'll get 1 or 2 select missing word questions on test day, and it contributes points just to your listening score. This is what select missing word looks like. As you can see, it's a kind of multiple choice style question. But the answer options are not complete sentences. There'll be a single word, or there'll be a short phrase like these. What's going to happen is you'll hear an audio that'll play for about 30 seconds, and the final word or the final phrase will be replaced by a beep sound. What you need to do is listen very carefully and anticipate what is going to be said. In other words, you need to select the correct answer option that best completes the sentence. So this question type is testing your ability to anticipate what will be beep said. Okay, you need to listen very carefully, and you need to watch the audio player, because you can see when it comes to the end, so you know really what to focus on. Then you select the answer option, click next, and move on. One thing you might want to think about doing is taking E2's mini mock test with feedback before your test. It'll give you test-like experience. It'll also give you lots of feedback on your speaking and writing, and you'll get to practice all of the questions we've been talking about. Highlight incorrect words. On test day, you'll get 2 or 3 of this type of question. It's a bit of a strange question. It contributes points just to your listening score. So this is what highlight incorrect words looks like on test day. What happens here is you'll see a transcript of the audio. However, several of the words in the transcript will differ from what the speaker says. What you need to do is place your mouse pointer on the first word. As soon as the audio begins to play, move your mouse pointer from left to right as the speaker says the words. Then you need to click on the words that differ from what the speaker says. This one really does require a bit of practice, so watch the methods lesson on E2 Test Prep, and then of course get stuck into the practice questions. Write from dictation. This is the last question type of the listening section, and of course the last question type of the entire exam. It's important that you manage your time during the listening section to get up to write from dictation, and you complete them all. You're going to get 3 or 4 of these on test day, and it contributes points to your listening score and your writing score. This is what write from dictation looks like on test day. You're going to hear a single sentence. You're going to listen very carefully. You're then going to type the sentence out, make sure it's correct, and click next. So, write from dictation is the final question type of the listening section, and of course, this is the final question type of the entire exam. It's important that you manage your time during the listening section so you make it to write from dictation, and of course, you want to get them all right. It contributes points to your listening and to your writing score. Next steps. So, we've now looked at all 20 PTE question types. What you need to do now is practice. I'd recommend checking out E2 Test Prep. It's our online PTE preparation platform that has everything you could ever need, including practice questions, live classes, mock tests, and speaking and writing feedback. That's all from me. Good luck.